wrestling fans of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of the MainLine at Linwood Wrestling Legends. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from an abandoned warehouse in Linwood. So if you love wrestling as much as we do here at Linwood Wrestling Legends, then you just gotta hop on that MainLine. As always, I'm your faithful host and color commentator, Jon. Once again, we are back on the attack and coming at you like a spatula with an absolutely stacked card tonight. And for the first time in this promotion, we have an ambulance match. I don't know about any of you out there, but I can't wait to dig in. So let's go ringside right now and check out the action. Cats may or may not have 9 lives, but how many souls do they have? Given that the godmother La Madrina has taken to harvesting the souls of her opponents lately, that's a very pressing question indeed. But who knows? Maybe Felicia's cat-like reflexes and agility will keep her soul safe and win the match. Crazier things have happened in this ring before, so let's go ringside right now and see the crazy things that are about to happen. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Guadalajara, Mexico, she is a founding member of Los Gatas Callejeras. She is Felicia. We are starting this thing off with a bang, and this kitty cat is all hopped up on catnip. Probably. We're a little lax with things like testing our wrestlers for catnip, but you know what? If Felicia wants to do a bit of the old nip before she gets in the ring, that's absolutely her prerogative. And quite frankly, some of the slots in our men's division could do with a little bit of the nip to get a pep in their step. But remember kids, catnip is for grown-ups. But for those of you 12 years and older, why not slip a little nip yourself? Wait a minute, that didn't come out right. And her opponent, from Brownsville, Texas in the United States, she is the godmother, La Madrina. Folks, harvesting the soul of your opponent is serious business, and last week we saw the godmother doing exactly that. While I've got my fingers crossed for no more supernatural chicanery in this match, I've also got my trusty magic egg to protect me. But really, it's all of you people out there that don't have magic eggs that I'm worried about. If anybody wants to purchase such a magic egg, we got them for sale at the merch stand. Now some people might find that deeply unethical. Maybe we shouldn't be hustling people into buying magic eggs with the threat of soul harvesting. But you know what? We gotta keep the lights on somehow. But nevertheless, it's something we never thought to make rules against. But I would imagine if Madrina keeps harvesting souls, our general manager Todd Sorensen is going to come down and make some rules. Referee Chad Remington rings the bell and Madrina is off to the races with a jumping neck breaker. The godmother is coming in with the height and weight advantage, and of course she literally harvests souls. Felicia is really going to have to bring her A-game if she wants to succeed tonight. The godmother is almost toying with her food at this stage, almost like a cat would. How deeply ironic. Felicia hitting that wheelbarrow. Up she goes into a dropkick and the godmother goes down. Off the springboard with the moonsault. Being a luchadora, Felicia does her best work in the air. So if she can stick to the springboard and the top ropes, she may have a chance of winning. And there's the drive into the corner. Felicia coming in with the run-up, but the godmother's got the last second dodge, and there goes another jumping neck breaker. Personally, I have never tried to harvest the soul of a cat, so I don't know if it's easier or harder than that of a human. But when you think about it, cats have 9 lives, so I'm guessing harder. And folks, I don't know why it only just occurred to me, but we are watching a cat face off against the matriarch of an evil cult. And that is something you don't see in most wrestling promotions, but that's what makes us special. Madrina going for the springboard kick, but Felicia's got the counter. Godmother climbing back to the apron, and there's a stiff shot to Felicia's face. And if you need a stiff wake-up, try our new catnip-infused Last Gatas energy drink for sale at the concession stand. Godmother going for the wrench through the ropes, and that had to hurt. I gotta say, this is not a very strong showing for Felicia thus far. Madrina tolerating no threat whatsoever and pounding her opponent straight into the mat. Once again, I'm at a loss as to why we let our wrestlers wrestle in stiletto heels. But nobody's died yet, so whatevs. And folks, if you're watching this from Linwood, or anywhere in Christchurch really, you'll know that it's been mighty cold lately. But thankfully, I am snug and warm under this announcer's desk as always. Felicia hitting another wheelbarrow. Barrel roll misses the mark, and now the Godmother is in control, but not for long. Felicia firing off some stiff shots, and there goes the Poison Rana. This kitty cat is landing on her feet, and that was a delightful kip-up. We're about to see some lucha skills in action. There's the whip into the ropes. Felicia goes high. And round we go. Lovely little slam into the mat. Moonsault off the springboard, but nobody home. Felicia is starting to turn the tide of this match. Going for the swipe, but missing the mark. Madrina clobbering back, and into the corner she goes. This kitty cat is going splat straight into the turnbuckle, and here comes another wrench. Godmother taking the boots to Felicia, but she is not staying there. Barrel roll sweeps her off her feet. This kitty cat has found herself a dandy new scratching post. And here comes a swipe, and another, and another. This cat's got claws. Madrina kicking back and going for the roll-up. One. Kick out after the one. But here comes something devastating, and there's a double elbow. And the spinning heel kick. Can she get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out on the 2, but let's see that again. The Godmother has had a lot of luck with this combination over the years. You got the double elbow to the collarbone, and the spinning heel kick to the face to finish it off. But apparently this cat's still got a few lives left. Clocking the Godmother with a jawbreaker. We got a salvo of stiff chops, and here comes a slobber knocker. Madrina might have the reach and strength advantage, but on the other hand, Felicia has claws. We got some stiff shots being given across the board, and in comes the Godmother with a roundhouse kick to seal the deal. Letting her opponent know she does not consider her any kind of threat. And sometimes it's hard to tell if this Linwood crowd loves her or if they're just afraid of her. Felicia is revving up. Something fancy off the springboard with a missile dropkick, and she is right in her element. If she can keep this one in the air, she's got a good chance of taking the win. But the Godmother is going to want this cat right on the mat. Up she goes. Into the fireman's carry and straight into the ropes. And here comes something really cool. Boom! Standing moonsault. Can she get the pin? 1, 2. My God, so close. But let's see that again. And I gotta say, in all honesty, I much prefer this standing moonsault to the one Kimberly Sullivan does. For one thing, it's a lot less self-serving and obnoxious. But that was so close with the count. Going off the springboard with a big splash. Felicia needs to keep up the momentum while she's got the advantage. Going for the rake, but the Godmother's got other ideas. Shotgun dropkick, laying her out. And we are playing silly buggers with the turnbuckle pad once again. As always, referee Chad Remington is on the job. Good gravy, we're seeing it again, folks. Another soul being harvested by the Godmother. Let me just give the old trusty magic egg a bit of a rub, and down she goes. And if that's not bad enough, it's about to get a hell of a lot worse. Down goes the sultry elbow drop, and let's see that again. At the risk of sounding like a total party pooper, this is the second week in a row we have seen the Godmother harvesting her opponent's soul. and we are definitely going to have to make some rules about this. If we don't put our foot down, where does it end? With full-on necromancy, that's where. But it's one of those things you never make a rule about because it doesn't occur to you that somebody would do it. Well, folks, we've just seen it done twice in 2 weeks. Even if I didn't have my trusty egg, I'm not really worried because I sold my soul a long time ago. It's all of you I'm worried about. Is that going to do the job for the pin? 1, 2. My God, she's kicking out after a soul harvesting and a sultry elbow drop. Nobody can doubt the fighting spirit of this kitty cat. Godmother going up top. Falling axe handle misses the mark. If the soul harvesting didn't do the trick, the Godmother is going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, with her bare hands and those stiletto heels. You got to hand it to Felicia, though. She is not slowing down. We got a bit of a 619 thing and a spinning heel kick. Down she goes. Felicia slipping the apron and she is about to go topside. Or not. Just like a true kitty cat, she can't make up her mind. The Godmother is laying in the stiff strikes and deadly kicks. This could all be over very soon, and in comes Madrina with the victory roll double stomp. She is literally shushing her opponent's cries for help, but can she get the pin? 1, 2, 3. La Madrina takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Most wrestling promotions don't have to deal with their wrestlers harvesting their opponent's souls, but then again, there is a hell of a lot we have to deal with that most wrestling promotions don't, so I've got a feeling we're going to take this one in stride. There were quite a few times Felicia came within a cat's whisker of victory, and it would have been very interesting to see how this match would have gone without the soul harvesting. If we can make some rules about that kind of carry-on, I would absolutely love to see a rematch. But as it stands, it's hard enough convincing our wrestlers to wash their hands after using the toilet, so we may be in for a bit of an uphill battle. Congratulations to the Godmother La Madrina on her second questionable victory in as many weeks. At this stage, we have no idea what she plans to do with the souls she's harvested. If I had to guess, she's constructing some kind of magical artifact. But then again, don't quote me on that because I failed necromancy in high school. We're looking at 2 new recruits fresh out of developmental. The electric gigolo Mustapha Korkmaz and the Mumbai Mauler Ash Kali. It was only a matter of time before we pitted them against each other, so let's go ringside right now and see who learned the most in developmental. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Erdina, Turkey, he is the electric gigolo, Mustapha Korkmaz. I gotta admit, the electric gigolo has made quite the splash since he showed up 2 weeks ago. Say what you will about his persona and whatnot, but this guy can absolutely go in the ring, and that's what matters. But you know what matters more? According to General Manager Todd Sorensen, merch sales. This guy has been selling merch like you wouldn't believe, and we are riding him all the way to the bank. And on a related note, folks, we are all out of the children's sizes of electric gigolo arseless chaps, but we will be re-upping very soon. And his opponent, from Mumbai, India, he is the Mumbai Mauler, Ash Kali. We saw the Mumbai Mauler last week making his debut against the Iceberg, but this time around, it'll be interesting to see how he goes against an opponent who can actually wrestle. I'll be the first to admit that a deathmatch wrestler is a very odd fit for a promotion like this. But I think it's all about putting him in the right place to shine, and hopefully that'll be this match tonight. But on the other hand, this Linwood crowd loves Linwood Knight, and they don't come much more hardcore than him. And I got a feeling there's something in here about Ash Khali, but we're all just watching and waiting for it to click. I think these two might have faced each other in our developmental program, but then again, I try to have as little to do with that program as possible. As I said before, our developmental program is a Greendale College for wrestlers, and I absolutely stand by that opinion. Referee Henrietta Sorensen rings the bell. Ash Khali comes running in, but the Electric Gigolo has got the counter. Ash Khali going to work in a fast and furious manner, and there goes the cutthroat side slam. And on the subject of Fast and Furious, I have never seen a single one of those movies. Maybe I'm missing out on some cinematic masterpieces, but it's a chance I'm willing to take. And we have got some kinetic chess. The sad truth is not a lot of entertainment out there is geared towards people like me. And what about people like me? I want to watch movies like Memento and listen to bands like Monster Magnet. And what is there for people like me, besides Memento and Monster Magnet? But what else is there? I can't be expected to watch one movie and listen to one band my entire life. But as it stands, most of the movies, music and shows out there are geared towards the lowest common denominator. That's why The Big Bang Theory is the most watched show of all time. Electric Gigolo hitting that back body suplex. And check out the ego on this guy. We get it, dude. You're a beefcake. Ash Khali slipping out of the ring, but he is fighting his way back in. Mustapha hits him with a bulldog, and he is going sky high. And there goes a thunderous body splash. And while we're on the subject, can we briefly tip our hat to the band Monster Magnet? There is a lot of terrible, terrible band names out there, but Monster Magnet, absolutely, what the hell is going on? We don't have licensed music for our wrestlers' entrances because YouTube says no, so I got no idea what they are hearing. For all we know, it could be Monster Magnet. And if Dave Windorf ever wants Monster Magnet's music in this show, well, uh-oh. Sweet, merciful crack! The Boxburg Butcher took advantage of the distraction and snuck in to clock the Electric Gigolo with a chair. DeSlugter was not happy about the teabagging he received last time, and thankfully we've got a kick out before the one. The Electric Gigolo has definitely made an impression, and he has marked himself as a target for Broforce 1. Up and over the ropes he goes. Stiff punch from Ash Khali. And up and over the ropes he goes in a very creative suplex. That was pretty rad. Referee Henrietta Sorensen searching for a place in the Electric Gigolo's trunks she can stuff a $20 bill. And now that I think about it, she has refereed all of the Electric Gigolo's matches. I refuse to believe that's just a coincidence. 1, 2, kick out on the 2. Usually our general manager Todd Sorensen, Henrietta's uncle, puts her in all the really crappy matches because he hates her. Good gravy, is he biting the Electric Gigolo's nose? Ash Khali is going full Mike Tyson. Well, it would be if that was an air, but close enough. And here's something really cool. Up into the electric chair he goes, and down into a suplex. Roll that one back, Ernie. Now folks, I don't care what Mustapha says this move is called. There is no way in hell I am calling it the Turkish snow cone. I've got no idea what a Turkish snow cone is, but it sounds really grubby, so I'm just going to call it the electric suplex. I think that's a name everybody can live with. If I had to guess, I'd say a Turkish snow cone was something from his previous profession as an exotic dancer. But it sounds really gross, and I don't want to pollute my search history by finding out. The Mumbai Mauler going in for the tried and true ground and pound. He's getting grounded and pounded like some fine beef. And we are playing silly buggers with the turnbuckle pads. One has to wonder, how is that going to pay off later? And as I've always told those lazy oafs in the ring crew, just glue the damn things on. Ash Khali whipping himself into a rage. The beast has officially been unleashed. The Mumbai Mauler has been looking for his time to shine, and this may be it. Little bit of collar and elbow, and there goes the whip into the exposed turnbuckle. That right there is gonna leave a nasty welt. We're barely into this match, and already the Electric Gigolo has taken one hell of a thrashing. You've really got to wonder how much worse can it get. Whip into the corner, and Ash Khali with the running crossbody. He's given his opponent no room to breathe whatsoever, and he has taken the boots to him in style. This is just the kind of brutality this Linwood crowd came to see tonight. Mumbai Mauler grabs him by the scruff of the neck, and where are we going? Straight into another turnbuckle, but he is not staying there. Whip into the corner, and now it's Ash Khali's turn. Mustapha Korkmaz running in with a stiff forearm strike. Turnabout is fair play, but Ash Khali is not staying in the corner. Running neck breaker. And when all else fails, here comes the tried and true ground and pound with a dastardly little stomp. Mumbai Mauler setting up for something big, and here it comes. Wap-bop-a-loo-bop-a-lop bamboo. That was the Mumbai neck breaker. Roll it back, Ernie. If you've ever hit someone with a neck breaker and wondered to yourself, how can I make this worse? I give you Exhibit A, the Mumbai neck breaker. The human spine was not meant to bend like that, but it just did. Ash Khali looking to drag his opponent away from the ropes. Is that going to do for the pin? 1, 2. Kick out on the 2. And while I didn't want to mention it before, we seem to be giving no regard to the coefficient of drag. If we start discarding the basic rules of physics, where does it end? I mean, why don't we just forget about the gravitational constant while we're at it? 9.81 meters per second, people. And into the turnbuckle he goes. And while it's nice to see somebody from developmental who can pull off a scoop slam, that really should be developmental 101. Posting up on the middle rope. Boom! That was the Khali Cleaver. A vicious falling chop to the brain. 1, 2. Kick out on the 2, but we gotta see that again. And once again, the gravitational constant comes into effect, falling at 9.81 meters squared per second. But then again, I flunked out of high school physics, so don't quote me on anything. Into the ropes he goes, and there's a sweet German suplex off the rebound. And more silly buggers with the turnbuckle cover. The Electric Gigolo is out of the ring. Ash Khali posting up top. Thunderous body splash once again at 9.81 meters squared per second. I'm no math magician, so you're going to have to do the calculations on your own. Going by the scruff of the neck and face first into the side of the apron. The Electric Gigolo has got the counter. This one's gone to the cardboard, and we are going all over the place. Mustapha gets the whip, and Ash Khali goes on a merry little jog. We're seeing the Electric Gigolo rallying, and it looks like we got another Turkish electric suplex. It's going to take a while for me to get the hang of that. But get a load of all those welts on the Electric Gigolo's body. Going sky high. We are getting perilously close to a countout. Aerial assault misses the target and resets the clock. Axe handle to the back, and down he goes. Nasty rake across his opponent's back. And we are going for another little jog, but fellas, please stay away from my desk. Mumbai Mauler getting back on his feet, and we are going back in the ring. Mustapha running in and knocking him down with the clothesline, and he is about to go sky high. Going for that big body splash, but nobody home. Ash Khali looking to channel that primal rage. Both of these wrestlers have taken a hell of a walloping, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Getting the run up and going for the basement drop kick, but nobody home. Ash Khali having a rough time getting his balance. We're seeing a little back and forth, and here comes another slobber knocker. If I were a betting man, maybe I would be better at gambling, and I would have lost that $300 last week. You wouldn't believe what I had to do to raise that $300. And let me tell you, it was fairly unpleasant. Ash Carly sealing the deal with a stiff headbutt. And there goes another turnbuckle cover. And I don't think I've ever seen this before, but 2 turnbuckle covers at once. That's going to keep referee Henrietta Sorensen busy. At least it would if she actually cared about doing her job. We got the weapon to the unprotected turnbuckle. And kids, always use protection with turnbuckles. You never know where they've been or how many people have been whipped into them. Carly firing off a salvo of strikes. Boom, taste of pain. And whatever pain tastes like, it's got to be much better than these god-awful Las Gatas Callejeras energy drinks that we're selling. If you can imagine cat food and 3-day-old salmon, that's a pretty close approximation. Try our new Las Gatas catnip-infused energy drink. Delicious. Now for sale at the concession stand. We got a whole lot of ballet going on. Round and round we go and into the exposed turnbuckle. Mustapha looking to go sky high again. Thunderous body splash hits the mark. 1, 2. Kick out on the 2. And I got a feeling both of these guys are going to need a little attention from our staff veterinarian Francesca after this match. Going for a very unorthodox submission. But Ash Carly is powering up. Usually when I'm trying to make somebody submit, I'll just fire off classic Simpsons quotes one after the other until they can take no more. And that usually does the job. Especially against younger people who weren't even alive during the golden age of the Simpsons. Whipped straight into referee Henrietta Sorensen. And we got the up and over with the flapjack. Going for another pin. 1, 2. Nearly had him there, but getting a bit cheeky with his feet on the ropes. Flying clothesline sends him down. However much punishment these two are willing to take, they are willing to dish out a lot more, and we got some more shenanigans with the turnbuckle. Ash Carly spitting some poisonous mist, but the electric gigolo's got a counter of his own. I have never seen anything like that. We just saw one dirty move get countered by another dirty move. More proof where it needed that 2 wrongs make a right. Going for another pin attempt, and I think this is going to be the one. 1, 2, 3. Mustapha Korkmaz takes the victory. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Between one thing and another, this was a rough match for the Electric Gigolo, but somehow he managed to persevere and take the victory. But one thing's for sure, after humiliating Jan Adams last week, Mustapha Korkmaz has become a target for Broforce 1. We also saw a lot more from Ash Carly, and what he is willing to do to take the victory. It's still early days and he's still feeling his way around this promotion, but next match, who knows? I still want to see this guy in his native habitat of a death match, but there's still plenty of time for all that. Congratulations to the Electric Gigolo Mustapha Korkmaz on his 3rd victory. But my god, what a costly victory. Those bruises and welts aren't going to heal anytime soon. But that said, we are seeing a new star on the rise in our men's division. The arrival of the Electric Gigolo may have been just the thing to give our men's division the shake-up it so badly needed. It's still a little early in the game, and we're not sure whether this is the next champion in the making, but one thing is for sure. We are absolutely delighted with the amount of arseless chaps we are selling to literal children. After a recent scandal torpedoed their clean-cut image, Catalina and Tabitha from Las Gatas Callejeras are hurting for any kind of victory to turn things around. Also in need of a victory to get back on track and back towards that championship, we have the Coven, Xenia, Shawnee, and Helena. These three witches will be looking to turn these kitty cats into their familiars. Let's go ringside right now to see this battle of claws and sorcery. The following tag match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Guadalajara, Mexico, Catalina and Tabitha are Las Gatas Callejeras. It's been quite the fall from grace for these two. Once upon a time, Catalina and Tabitha were the darlings of our women's tag division. But that all changed overnight with the arrival of their former teammate Felicia and some very disturbing revelations about their behavior in Mexico. They have put this Linwood crowd in a very awkward position. Nobody really wants to boo them deep down, but it's got to be done. You send your homegirl up the river to jail, then have an affair with her fiancé, you get booed. I'm sorry, but I don't make the rules. Believe me, if I did make the rules, things would be very different around here. For one thing, there'd be a moat full of poisonous box jellyfish encircling my announcer's desk. I've put in the request, but unfortunately box jellyfish are not native to New Zealand. And I'm sure I don't need to tell any of you how much of a pain in the ass Australian customs is. The kind of bribes they're asking for are absolutely ridiculous, and we are not made of money. And their opponents, accompanied by Helena, from Salem, Massachusetts in the United States of America, Xenia and Shawnee are the Coven. They are vicious, delicious, and a little superstitious. They are the Coven, and somewhere the Undertaker is telling these three to hurry the hell up and get to the ring. If you're not a wrestling fan, you're probably not going to get that one. But if I have to explain it, all of a sudden it's not funny anymore, and thank you very much for putting me in that position. But then again, you're a clever person and I'm sure you can figure it out. After all, you've made the very wise decision to watch this show. For which I thank you, by the way. And let there be light. And saying that just now has made me get Skid Row's In a Darkened Room stuck in my head. Probably because it's a line from the song. But one thing I'll never understand is why Skid Row got lumped in with all the hair metal bands. Sure, Sebastian Bach was a bit of a pretty boy, but musically they had more in common with Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses. And it's not like they had the poodle haircuts and spandex either. And because I'm going to bring this one right back to wrestling, remember that time Sebastian Bach challenged Chris Jericho to a fight? Ah, good times. But whatever your opinion on Chris Jericho, can we all agree that his band sucks? Fozzy is one of the worst band names ever, and the polar opposite of Monster Magnet. And if you didn't catch that last match, it's because Monster Magnet absolutely stuck the landing with their choice of name. Referee Henrietta Sorensen rings the bell and Tabitha comes running in with the Hurricane Rana. But seriously, Sebastian Bach versus Chris Jericho? Now that is a death match I would pay to see. And oh yes, we are gonna unpack this and go into why. Shawnee crushing Tabitha beneath the heels of her boot. And if WWE is insisting on shoving celebrities down our throat, why not Sebastian Bach? The demographic that watches professional wrestling actually recognizes him, as opposed to whatever quote-unquote influencers or celebrities who are only big in America they've been trying to push lately. Tabitha barely grazing Shawnee with that tope atomico, and now we're lying down to get a tan. But it's probably more likely to be on AEW, because that's where Chris Jericho is. So balls in your court, Tony Khan. Make it happen. The kitty cats are lining up for something big, and here it comes. Just a little something called El Picador. Boom, there she goes. Let's take another look. And here's something else, folks. Sebastian Bach was on the Trailer Park Boys, so they could bring out Bubbles to be his manager. Bubbles was already on an episode of AEW, and he got a massive pop from the audience. He could even run a bit of interference as his alter ego, the Green Bastard. Is that one gonna do for the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2. But folks, the more I think about it, the more convinced I am that this is the best idea any human being has had in recorded history. Shawnee coming in with a flying knee, but nobody home. That settles it, folks. After this match, I am going to try and find Tony Khan's number, ring him up, and be all like, hey, I work for this rinky-dink wrestling promotion in New Zealand, but I've got a ripper of an idea and you've got the money and resources to make it happen. Into the corner goes Catalina. We got the tag to Xenia. And there goes the whipping to Shawnee, knee to the gut, and another knee to the gut from Xenia. Thank you for playing. And I'm sure Tony Khan will be all like, yeah dude, that's the best idea I've ever heard. And then we'll finally get that death match between Sebastian Bach and Chris Jericho. You're welcome, wrestling fans. Up into the powerbomb position, and where are we going? Straight down into Snake Eyes with the turnbuckle. But this kitty cat is not staying in the corner. Xenia firing back, and we got a little collar and elbow. Catalina with the arm wringer. And there goes the leg drop to the arm. Tag to Tabitha. Good gravy, look at the height on that drop kick. Tabitha looking to hit the springboard. And there goes the vicious crossbody. Xenia might want to be taking in Shawnee one of these days. Xenia's situation is looking a little precarious. Tabitha coming in with the run-up and the basement dropkick. And she is going sky high. Tabitha looking to take flight. And down goes the second story dropkick. This kitty cat showing some feline reflexes. And here comes the triple swipe salvo. This cat literally and figuratively has claws. Nobody home for the crossbody. And folks, did I ever tell you about the time a cat jumped out of the bushes and crossbodied my dog Jasco? I'm sure I mentioned it before, but true story. Xenia turning the tide of battle with that sweet suplex. She is not giving Tabitha any room to breathe. And folks, out of the two, it's hard to say who's the worst between Catalina and Tabitha. They both rolled over on Felicia and they both slept with her fiancé Benito. At the same time, no less. So high fives to Benito. Xenia sticking the DDT. This kitty cat has become a scratch post, and there's the whip into the corner, but the tag is denied. Dropkick lays her out. Can she get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out after the 2. And I say all this about Las Gatas because these kind of things can happen when you get involved in the catnip game. So kids, stay away from the nip. It's just not worth it. Shawnee coming in with the body block. Once again crushing Tabitha beneath her heels. And if I can convince one kid out there not to get involved in the catnip game, then I will have used my platform for some good today. Whip into the corner. Somewhere it's a full moon because Shawnee is wolfing out. That plus I think she may actually be a werewolf. I saw her shapeshift once. But the punishment does not stop there, and this werewolf is dominating her feline prey. Let's run it back and get another look at that brutality. After this display, I do not want to get on Shawnee's bad side. And I probably shouldn't have said anything about seeing her shapeshift. She's a bit sensitive about that, so I apologize. My bad. Just please don't hurt me, Shawnee. But is there any coming back for Tabitha after that ferocious display? We shall soon find out. Shawnee is truly possessed, possibly by lycanthropic urges, and we got the drive into the ropes. There's the reversal, and up and over to the cardboard she goes. As long as she stays away from anything made of silver or wolfsbane, I'm sure she'll be fine. Tabitha rolling out to join the party, and she gets whipped straight into the barricade. Russian leg sweep. Between one thing and another, Tabitha has been put through the ringer in this match. Diving senton hits the mark. And just a reminder that the t-shirts for sale at our merch stand are not suitable for shape-shifting. Into the disc she goes. Well, not quite, but she grazed it with her tail. So if you are any kind of lycanthrope, don't wear one of our shirts during a full moon. Unless you happen to be wearing one of our Violator shirts. Those only come in 5XL. If Las Gatas were hoping to turn things around with this match, they better up their game real soon. Whip into the ropes, and we got a sloppy-ass collision. We haven't had one of those in a while. Referee Henrietta Sorensen taking a little collateral damage. There's the whip into the corner. Bit of a turnaround there, and things are not looking good for Shawnee. Ow, that had to hurt. Shawnee laid up in the corner and about to get the worst of it from Tabitha. Tabitha coming in with the run-up and the basement dropkick. Shawnee starting to look a little worse for wear. Whip into the corner, and there's the tag to Catalina, and we are about to see something very special. And here it comes, folks, the Nuevos Vidas, or 9 Lives elbow drop. Lining her up, and pop goes the weasel. Is that enough for the pin? Pin broken up by Xenia, but let's see that again. This is the kind of acrobaticism one would normally only see in Lucha Libre. So how cool is it that we are seeing it here in Linwood? And we're seeing it here in Linwood because no legitimate Lucha Libre promotion wants to touch these two after the recent scandal. But that's their loss, and we will take it any way we can get it. And by it, I mean good wrestling. Get your minds out of the gutter, people. Catalina hitting that 619 fake out with the spinning heel kick. That was a lot of momentum. Shawnee crawling for the hot tag, and there goes Xenia. Catalina comes running in and sticks the Hurricane Rana. Shawnee is not looking too healthy there, and Catalina has some choice words for her. But here comes Xenia to back up her sister in sorcery, because that's what you do. You don't roll over on them, send them to jail, and sleep with their fiancé. Xenia sticking the DDT. Xenia shooting low and going for a submission. Abracadabra, here comes the Boston Crab. Did I just say abracadabra out loud? I'm never going to live that one down. And Catalina is powering out. What? Here comes the seesaw. What? And another seesaw. And just for the record, Ernie the cameraman, it's not fun for anybody when you shake the camera like that. Not cool, Ernie. Xenia looking for another submission with the rolling guillotine choke. Catalina seems to be powering out of this one, but better luck next time. Elena on the outside, possibly casting spells and incantations. And here comes another triple swipe salvo. Catalina going off the springboard, and what the hell was that? That right there is the kind of crap that makes wrestling look fake. Pin broken up by Shawnee. So thank you very much, Catalina, for your besmirchment of the noble sport of wrestling. Xenia with the run-up, and good gravy! Just a little something called the Hex effect. Xenia climbing the ropes, but she falls victim to her own hubris. Let's see that again. This right there, the Hex effect, was a really sweet move, and I don't think I've ever seen Xenia do it. But I gotta say, I approve. Tabitha on the outside doing her best to distract Xenia. And I hate to say it, but it seems to be working. Xenia eating some stiff shots from both of the kitty cats. Catalina looking to find the leverage, and up she goes. But Xenia is punching out. Got a little collar and elbow. And pop goes the weasel with that beautiful Spanish fly. Tag to Tabitha. Tabitha looking to psych herself up. going for the elbow drop, but nobody home. Xenia going in low with a sweet DDT. And it's hard to imagine there was a time the DDT didn't exist. Until Jake the Snake Roberts came along. Xenia dumping her face first onto the mat with that bulldog. And it just occurred to me that maybe that move's called a bulldog because your face will be squashed like that of a bulldog after eating one of those. There's the whip and the reversal and the tag to Shawnee. Nothing fancy going on here. Just a double face planted stereo. And while we're on the subject, could they not have called the bulldog a Persian cat? Because those things have really flat faces too. Tabitha hitting the jawbreaker. The fun doesn't stop there and Shawnee goes face first into the apron. Sweet lariat on the rebound. But I'm guessing it's called a bulldog because it sounds more intimidating than Persian cat. But besides these two crumbummets, nobody wants to use a wrestling move named a sweet merciful crap. Referee Henrietta Sorensen is down. Nailed by a crossbody off the slingshot. Thankfully, with referee Henrietta Sorensen acting as a meat shield, that gave Shawnee the time to recover. And there's the oh no, what's happening here? By the prickling of her thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Whip into the ropes. Spinning power slam off the rebound. Shawnee is not playing around. Round and round we go with a little ballet and Shawnee's trap backfires spectacularly. You gotta be careful with those turnbuckles, kids. And there's the tag to Xenia. Catalina with the run up, and what the hell was that? Xenia with the run in and another sweet hex effect. Is that enough for the pin? Apparently not. Danhausen might have the monopoly on curses, but the Coven are all about the hexes. And to be honest, I'd rather be cursed than hexed. Catalina whipped into the exposed turnbuckle. Xenia looking to go sky high. Down she goes with a crushing body splash. Referee Henrietta Sorensen finally gets around to replacing that turnbuckle pad. Xenia looking for another rolling guillotine, but Catalina had that one scouted. Whip into the corner. And what the hell is going on here? Catalina getting a little distracted by Shawnee and Helena. And that was just what Xenia needed to come roaring back with a clothesline. A bit more collar and elbow and another whip into the corner. But Catalina is not staying there. Catalina slipping the back and hitting Xenia with the sleeper slam. Xenia's laid out on the mat, and there's the tag to Tabitha. The orange kitty cat closing in on her prey, and there's the tag to Shawnee. And you've got to question the judgment of that guy there holding the Marry Me Catalina sign. Shawnee hitting a sweet takedown, and there's a stomp to the elbow. And to that guy holding the Wrestle Me sign, take it somewhere else, buddy. This ain't that kind of promotion. Tabitha bouncing off the springboard and hitting a sweet backflip Pele kick. Here comes another whip into the corner. And folks, I haven't changed my opinion. I still think we should invest in a circular round ring. I'll leave the design up to somebody else. Another triple strike salvo. That one's gonna leave a mark. Face first into the turnbuckle, and we finally got there. We have first blood. We also might want to look into feeding our wrestlers blood thinners so they bleed more. Tabitha going for the bola de cuero, but nobody home. Shawnee wolfing out and howling at the boom. There's the whip into the corner. Meteora hits the turnbuckle. Nobody home. Tabitha hitting the springboard, but that crossbody finds nothing but canvas. How many lives do these kitty cats have left? Shawnee shooting in low, but Tabitha's got her clocked. Step up Superman punch, laser out. And that full moon is on the rise once again. You do not want to be in Shawnee's path right about now. Shawnee is leaving nothing to chance and headbutting Catalina off the apron. Can she get the pin? Anytime you feel like it, Shawnee. 1, 2, 3. The Coven take the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. I hate to say it, folks, But the Las Gatas Callejeras we saw tonight are a shadow of their former selves. They have been in a death spiral since news of the scandal broke out, and they need to pull out fast. The Coven came into this thing much better prepared, and as they say, proper preparation prevents piss-poor performance. And while I would hesitate to call this performance piss-poor, it's definitely not the Las Gatas we're used to seeing. Congratulations to Xenia and Shorty of the Coven for their win tonight. This Linwood crowd definitely got their money's worth out of this match, and if they didn't, there will be no refunds. You paid for a seat and you got a seat. Our transaction is complete, and if you've got any buyer's remorse, that's on you. As noted philosopher, all-round smart guy and good friend of the show Niccolo Machiavelli once said, taking a kingdom is one thing, but keeping it, that's another thing entirely. Stealing the title and causing a literal riot may have been one thing, but tonight the hard-boozing hardcore legend Linwood Knight has to defend his title legitimately for the first time against the great Khan, Ogedai Khan. Can the sexiest man in the room hold on to his ill-gotten title without the assistance of his odious manager Corey 312? Let's go ringside right now and find out. The following LWL Men's World Championship match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the challenger. From Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, here's the Great Khan, Ogedai Khan. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm an Ogedai guy. If I were going to bet money on anybody to take Linwood Knight's ill-gained championship, this is the pony I'd bet on. And I really hope he comes through. Otherwise, I'm out another $300. If I can't find anything to sell, I'm going to have to do some awful things for that money. Like working at some job that isn't a color commentator for a wrestling promotion. God forbid. And his opponent, and current LWL Men's World Champion, representing Broforce 1 and accompanied by his manager Corey 312. From Linwood, Christchurch, right here in Aotearoa, he is the hard-boozing hardcore legend. He is the sexiest man in the room, and he is the cockroach of professional wrestling, Linwood Knight. Stealing a championship is one thing, and make no mistake, folks, that quote-unquote title match was a straight-up jack move. But now we're about to find out whether the sexiest man in the room has what it takes to keep that championship. And one has to wonder, with the arrival of the electric gigolo, is Linwood Knight still the sexiest man in the room? He certainly seems to think so. But he should know going in that this match isn't going to be like that 50-second quote-unquote title match where he stole the belt. For one thing, his buddy Corey 312 isn't there to act as a referee and literally throw out the other wrestler and then count him out with a fast count. I was not shocked when that show ended in a riot. I thought the previous Linwood screwjob was bad, but that one will live on in infamy. The Great Khan may be a good guy who follows the rules, but he is not foolish enough to expect the same from his opponent. Maybe all those dirty little tricks won't work this time around for the hard-boozing hardcore legend. But at the risk of making any bold assumptions, here's something that does work. Your index finger. So go ahead and give that little subscribe button a tickle. I double dare you. It'll give you something to do while we wait for this clown to stagger into the ring. Based purely on the visuals and what I know about Linwood Knight's lifestyle, I would rate his current inebriation at a 6 out of 10. There's still room for improvement. We're still very much in the process of fine-tuning things and trying to find the optimum level of inebriation to get a good match out of Linwood Knight. but we'll get there one of these days. The hard boozing hardcore legend is willing to ingest just about anything you put in front of him, so at least we're dealing with a very enthusiastic guinea pig. No, actually, I take that back, because I have never seen him ingest a non-alcoholic beverage. I'm thinking any kind of vitamins or nutrients would be too much of a shock to his system. Oh god, not referee Tom Herb again. Every time something screwy happens, referee Tom Herb is somewhere nearby lurking in the bushes. I'd also like to take the time to thank both of the people that signed my petition to get referee Tom Herb fired, but I'm afraid that didn't do the job and we're going to have to go to Phase 2. Once I figure out what Phase 2 entails, referee Tom Herb's days here will be numbered, but until then, all I can do is make snide passive-aggressive remarks and resort to childish name-calling. In other words, another day at the office for yours truly. But can you imagine how horrible this show would be if I was complimentary to everything and everyone? It doesn't bear thinking about. If I ever do a show where I talk about how amazing the wrestlers are, how competent the referees are, and how outstanding the personal hygiene of this crowd is, you have my permission to run me out of town on a rail. Linwood Knight not even waiting for the bell. Referee Tom Herb could have rung it when Linwood Knight was halfway across the ring, but that would require initiative. And we got absolutely nobody saying Linwood Knight, yeah. Seriously, all this time later and you're still trying to rip off LA Knight's thing? And here comes some kinetic chess. And I'm sure this will shock many of you, but Linwood Knight plays kinetic chess like a pigeon plays regular chess. He knocks over the pieces, craps all over the board, and then flies to his nest crowing about his victory. He's looking to power his way out, but his little turd weasel of a manager isn't going to help him out of this jam. Even if referee Tom Herb wanted to help Linwood Knight, he is far too incompetent, and we got the drop toe hold. Up over the shoulder he goes. Down into a burning hammer. Linwood Knight trying to gaslight the crowd into thinking he came up with that one. Oh, for God's sakes. We have long ago learned the futility of trying to censor wrestlers like Linwood Knight. Great Khan coming in with a stiff headbutt. Up and over he goes. But folks, you will be pleased to know that I have done the impossible and sourced an ambulance for tonight's main event. It's actually an old delivery truck from my Uncle Barry's warehouse that we decked out to look like an ambulance. There's a few old vehicles lying around my Uncle Barry's warehouse. I think he's using some of the parts to build his spaceship. My Uncle Barry is not building a spaceship. I repeat, not building a spaceship. What the hell are you even on about, spaceship? That's ridiculous. Anywho, it would have been kind of irresponsible to deprive the emergency services of a real ambulance, but I think we decked this one out quite nicely. Linwood Knight hitting that elbow drop. And showing a little love to this Linwood crowd as only the hard booze and the hardcore legend can. And now he's going topside. Going for that diving headbutt, but nobody home. And just a reminder to all the little kitty winks out there, unless you've got a steel plate in your head like Lady Liberty does, or you've got as much brain damage as Linwood Knight already has, then don't go trying any flying headbutts yourself. Great Khan gets the whip, and we got the up and over like a four-leaf clover. We got a little collar and elbow, here comes a little ballet, and Linwood Knight goes straight into the exposed turnbuckle. Corey 312's trap backfired spectacularly. Linwood Knight looking to go to work, but the Great Khan's got him clocked. Smushed into the canvas over and over again. If the hard boozing hardcore legend can't cheat his way through this, I really don't fancy his chances. But why not celebrate that stiff punch with a sexy time dance? It's anybody's guess why this Linwood crowd likes this guy, but I suppose everybody likes to be represented. There's a whip, some more ballet, and Linwood Knight eats another exposed turnbuckle. Referee Tom Herb is taking his damn time replacing that cover. Great Khan with a thunderous clothesline, and down he goes. Spinning power slam straight into the canvas. Can he get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out after the 2. It's gonna take a little more than that to put down the cockroach of professional wrestling. Linwood Knight with the counter, and down he goes. Ogedai firing back with a stiff knee shot. Linwood Knight getting scrappy and unloading some strikes into a tried and true scoop slam. I'm not gonna rag on the scoop slam as a move, but it seems like the kind of thing you should learn on your first day as a wrestler. Up and over the ropes goes the Hard Booze and Hardcore Legends. This one's already gone to the cardboard. Great Khan coming in with a stump puller and a painful leg snap. Linwood Knight was not meant to bend that way. Oh, good brother! Rammed face first into the ring post. I would be concerned if that was any other wrestler, but the Hard Booze and Hardcore Legend is probably too inebriated to feel any pain. This one better go ringside soon, because we all remember what happened last time. Linwood Knight nicking Corey 312, but not hard enough for my liking. And I've long since given up asking pointless questions, like why is that baseball bat lying around? Linwood Knight going topside. Down goes the falling axe handle, and down goes the... Oh, for God's sakes. We can't take this guy anywhere, and we can't leave him alone for 5 seconds. If Andre the Giant can have a handler to keep him out of trouble, why can't we assign one to Linwood Knight? And thank you, referee Tom Herb, for doing your damn job and replacing that turnbuckle cover. Up and over the Great Khan goes. That was a dandy rope-assisted suplex. Linwood Knight going for the low blow, but the Great Khan saw that one coming. Linwood Knight is not having a lot of luck with dirty tricks tonight. This may very well be his chickens coming home to roost. Great Khan going for the bear hug. And straight into a spinning power slam. 1, 2. Kick out just after the 2, but let's see that again. Sometimes the best way to resolve conflict is by hugging it out. But if the person cuddling you happens to be Ogedai Khan, those cuddles might break your ribs. So it's nothing you want to be doing for too long. So far, so good for the Great Khan, but he's still got a ways to go to bring this thing home. Linwood Knight slipping the apron. Up and over he goes into a tope atomico. Here he goes again, looking to take to the skies. He's never been much of a high flyer, but he can do it when it counts. Lining up his prey and going in for another diving headbutt, but he gets countered to a spinning mat slam. Ogedai has clearly done his homework, and he knows all of Linwood Knight's dirty tricks. And here comes something really cool. Shazam! That was the Huawei Powerbomb. Let's take another look. The Huawei Power was like a trebuchet, and it was used by the Mongols to level cities. This Huawei Powerbomb was built to level wrestlers, and it sure does a bang-up job. And there endeth today's history lesson with Professor Jon. Is that gonna do for the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2. There is a very good reason Linwood Knight is called the cockroach of professional wrestling. It's gonna take a lot more punishment to take him down. And here we go again with some more dirty tricks. Ogedai laid up in the corner, and in comes Linwood Knight putting the boot. Believe it or not, he actually found those boots in the never-ending cornucopia of bounty that is the dumpster up. Oh, I felt that one. I think every guy in the audience felt that one. Am I right? Anyway, here's the video evidence if we ever need to show it to a judge. Ogedai may have seen the first low blow coming, but this second one caught him completely unawares. That one's going to take quite a few ice packs. 1, 2, and kick out after the 2. Linwood Knight's dirty deeds failed to bear fruit that time around, but I'm sure he's got plenty left in his pocket. And by which I mean his hypothetical pocket, because I don't see any pockets in those filthy undies. Ogedai laid up in the corner, and if it wasn't bad enough that Linwood Knight stole the belt, here's a little trick he stole from none other than Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. And out to the cardboard goes Ogedai Khan. This man truly has no shame. When Miss Venice Beach finds out Linwood Knight's been stealing her moves, it is not going to be pretty. Uncoordinated body splash hits the mark. We're seeing a lot of bruises and welts all over the bodies and faces of both the wrestlers, and I'm sure blood will be soon to follow. Linwood Knight tagging him with that suplex. That cardboard has taken a whole lot of abuse tonight. Round and round we go, and Linwood Knight straight into the steel stairs. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. But you've got to hand it to the hard boozing hardcore legend. He is not afraid to put his body on the line, or his bum in anybody's face for that matter, which is why no other wrestling promotion wanted him and we got him cheap. The Great Khan is not out of this just yet. I would imagine he's going to be wanting some payback after that little shot to the crown jewels. Linwood Knight takes his eye off the ball and eats a stiff clothesline. Ogedai Khan taking his time, possibly even thinking about the cruelest thing he could possibly do to Linwood Knight. One can only hope. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I got $300 riding on this match. Some people might think I'm an idiot for betting on pro wrestling, but the bottom line is, I don't really like any other sports, and I certainly don't care enough about any of them to bet on their outcome. And here comes a good old-fashioned slobber knocker. That said, I do know a guy who coached the girls' rugby team, and I was in the process of setting them up to take a dive. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way at all. But on the plus side, I was spared being put in the awkward position of being a middle-aged man watching a teenage girls' rugby game. I'm sure they would have put me on some kind of watch list for that, and rightfully so. Down goes the Great Khan. The hard boozing hardcore legend is starting to hit his stride, and it's only taken him this long. Then again, that's probably just how long it took the alcohol to metabolize in his system. But there's also the double-edged sword. If he sweats too much during a match, there's a danger he might sober up. Linwood Knight shooting low, and here comes one of his specialties. The Bro Buster. It's a pile driver gone horribly, horribly wrong. Roll it back, Ernie. This is what happens when you try to learn how to do a pile driver, but you're way too loaded to get all the parts to come together. You get the Bro Buster, which is a devastating move nevertheless. Is that going to be enough for the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2. As always, we are keeping a close eye on Linwood Knight's sweat levels because nobody wants to see him sober up. And here comes another Bro Buster. 1, and there goes the kick out. This bro is going to take a little more busting. Great Khan rolling out to the cardboard. Linwood Knight over the top ropes with a sweet body splash. Great Khan kicking out, and he is back on his feet. Linwood Knight gets pounded into the cardboard, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. If this count goes too long, referee Tom Herb is going to have to break out the big boy numbers, and that's not going to be pleasant. To be honest, I'm kind of amazed the match has gone on this long, but I suppose it's a testament to Linwood Knight's ability to withstand punishment. There's the whip into the ropes. He goes low, he goes high, up and over like a four-leaf clover. He is not looking to relinquish the championship he stole anytime soon. Face first into the turnbuckle, and we finally have first blood. Trusty scoop slam sends him down to the mat. Linwood Knight looking to go sky high. We're starting to see Ogedai's endurance get tested now, but he's come through worse. Diving headbutt hits the mark. Let's take another look. And like I said before, kids, don't try this one at home unless your mum says it's okay. In which case, you should totally try it, and then report your mum to child services for being an absolute monster. And here comes a third Bro Buster. Ooh, that one had to hurt. 1, 2, 3. Linwood Knight takes the win and retains the championship. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Make no mistake, folks. While I still hate Linwood Knight for stealing the championship, and while I'm still bummed that I'm out $300 as far as this match goes, I ain't mad at it. It didn't go the way I wanted it to, but it was a good match nonetheless. That said, hopefully this opens up many more opportunities for other wrestlers to rightfully take that championship. Having this booze bag as men's champion is a real black eye for this promotion. But I suppose we've been getting a few of those lately, with one thing and another. Ever since Corey 312 blew into this abandoned warehouse. And folks, I am not going to congratulate this guy on retaining something he never should have won in the first place. I put up with a lot at this job, and there is a lot at this job that I am willing to put up with. But even I have my limits, and that is where I draw the line. Time for the main event, and this is the one we've all been waiting for. Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux, and the Blue Bomber Whitney Olivier will be throwing down in a no-holds-barred, no-DQ affair, and one of these wrestlers will be leaving in an ambulance. We have never had a match like this at Linwood Wrestling Legends, and I've been looking forward to it all night. So let's go ringside right now and see the carnage for ourselves. The following match is an ambulance match. There will be no DQs, countouts, pins, or submissions. Introducing first, from Venice Beach, California in the United States, she is Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. All hail our rightful queen, Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. And before we kick this shindig off, I would just like to take a second to pat myself on the back. Last week, Miss Venice Beach gave yours truly the impossible task of procuring an ambulance. We are not in the business of selling wolf tickets here at Linwood Wrestling Legends, so goddammit, I got us an ambulance. Obviously, it's not a real ambulance, but it's an old delivery truck me and my Uncle Barry decked out to look like an ambulance. And while it looks nothing like the specific ambulances we have here in New Zealand, it looks generally like an ambulance enough that anybody in the world will be able to look at that and think, yep, that's an ambulance. But folks, this situation is a lot like the steel cage situation we had last year. And once again, I have resigned myself to the fact that I am not going to get any credit. And her opponent, from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, she is the Blue Bomber. She is Whitney Olivier. Say what you will about wrestling, folks, but you can't fake the one thing that makes a great match, and that's real life animosity. You better believe this match has that in spades. Somebody is literally riding in an ambulance to the hospital tonight. But the important thing is, because we have an ambulance, I am not going to have to hitch a trailer to my electric scooter and be the one to take them on that particular journey. There's a whole lot of bumpy roads here in Linwood, and all that jostling could make their injuries worse. I found that one out the hard way with Jonesy and Homeboy Love Shark. And what happens if I'm towing somebody to the hospital, but then I see something that looks like it would be a sweet ramp? I'm kind of obligated to rev up and do a jump at that point. And obviously that's not going to be good for whoever I'm towing. I found that one out the hard way too. Sorry, Love Shark. And here it comes, folks. Look at that absolute behemoth of an ambulance. But let's go over the rules of the match. There are almost none. Any dirty trick is legal. The only thing you gotta do is get your opponent in the ambulance and close the doors. However you choose to do that is up to you, but by all means, get creative. And tonight, my Uncle Barry will be the ambulance driver. Cheers, Uncle Barry. Referee Henrietta Sorensen rings the bell, and that is the extent of her involvement in this match as a referee. These two are wasting no time going at each other hammer and tongs. We're seeing counters within counters. Blue Bomber slipping in and looking to stick something, and there goes a rotating backbreaker. Whitney Olivier is wasting no time laying down the verbal abuse, and she is revved up and ready to go. Just look at the force behind that frying pan shot. Bret Hart always said nobody won a fight with a chop, but I can see somebody winning a fight with that one. Blue Bomber going for the dropkick, but Miss Venice Beach has got the counter. These two know each other's styles pretty well by now, so we can expect to see a lot of reversals and counters. Miss Venice Beach coming in with the Dazzler on the rebound, and that sure was dazzling. The thing I really like about this match, my desk is on the opposite side of the ring to the ambulance, so I can rest assured my desk will be unmolested. I hope. Miss Venice Beach sticking the hammerlock reverse DDT. I gotta hand it to Candice Deveraux. Her technical skills have really come a long way. Blue Bomber laying her out with the dropkick, and where is she going? And we are reaching, oh look at that, we got a stop sign. The Blue Bomber says stop, and Miss Venice Beach drops and rolls. Whitney Olivier picking the leg and going for the ankle crank. One can only hope those 6-inch platform heels provide a little protection. Digging under the apron for buried treasure, and what do we got this time? You belong in the rubbish. Candice Deveraux takes issue with Whitney Olivier not separating the recycling first, as she well should. Normally those bins would be preloaded with rubbish, but I kinda had my hands full dealing with the whole ambulance situation, so blame the stagehands. And yes, I'm talking about you three, Toby, Hemi, and Jake. It's my ass on the line here, so you better pull your finger out. Blue Bomber looking to take flight. Diving DDT misses the mark, nobody home. And once again, we just saw the rules of physics being defied. Miss Venice Beach says cease and desist. So far, these two are more concerned with inflicting pain upon one another than trying to throw the other one in the ambulance. But this bloodthirsty, inebriated Linwood crowd wouldn't have it any other way, and neither would I. We've had a merry little stroll along the cardboard, but now we are going back in the ring. Blue Bomber misses her shot, but Miss Venice Beach takes the initiative. That was a sweet cross armbar, but once again, just a reminder, there are no submissions in this match. Blue Bomber coming in and putting her down with an inverted DDT. So far, it's coming up Millhouse for Whitney Olivier, but can she seal the deal with the ambulance? And once again, just a reminder, any and every dirty trick is legal. Let's see how many turnbuckle pads she can remove. Miss Venice Beach not putting up a lot of resistance, and straight into a snap suplex. I think we're about to see that exposed turnbuckle be used to devastating effect, and there it goes. Whitney Olivier has choice words for her opponent, none of which I can repeat. Good gravy! Candice Deveraux is taking one hell of a bludgeoning. There is no faking this kind of animosity. For all we know, both of these wrestlers could be needing an ambulance by the time this is all said and done. And oh, I'm sorry, are we boring you, Whitney Olivier? And here comes a little more tenderization with the good old ground and pound. Even if Candice Deveraux can pick up the win, she is still going to need a lot of attention and or drugs from our staff veterinarian Francesca. There's the whip into the ropes, and the leg lariat from out of nowhere. Roll it back, Ernie. Miss Venice Beach has had a whole lot of luck with that leg lariat from nowhere. Her opponents never seem to see it coming. It's also a testament to the efficacy of her yoga channel, and it sure would be nice if she'd give us a little plug once in a while. But now she's coming back with a chair. Blue Bomber saw that one coming, and there's the clothesline. But seriously, Candice, most of your subscribers to your yoga channel don't even know this promotion exists. How hard is it to give us a friendly plug once in a while? And that right there is a face in need of a whole lot of ice packs. Miss Venice Beach trying to rally the crowd, but here comes the Blue Bomber, and up and over the ropes she goes. Miss Venice Beach lying helpless on the cardboard while the Blue Bomber wanders off, possibly for a sneaky nip of maple syrup. But seriously, where did she go? Hey Ernie, can you see her? Well, she's got to come back sooner or later, otherwise she's not going to get paid. Usually we're Sweet merciful crap! Was that a splash from the ambulance? We gotta see that again. That was a long way down. And this is why I'm always telling you guys we need more than one camera, so we don't miss stuff like that. Finally, we're seeing the ambulance doors opened. Candice Deveraux has already taken the mother of all beatings, and this does not bode well for her. Up she goes, and pop goes the weasel. That was a blue thunder bomb. Normally I'd get Ernie to play that one back, but he had to go to the toilet. I really hope he hasn't got that violent diarrhea again, otherwise we are not getting any more replays. Miss Venice Beach going in with the kick, but the Blue Bombers got the counter. So far, this match has been a masterclass in counters and reversals. Up and over with the sweet hammerlock suplex. Once again, we are seeing the evolution of Miss Venice Beach's technical skills, and I gotta say she's probably the most improved wrestler on our roster. There's quite a few of them that have actually gotten worse since they came out of cryogenic storage, but I'm not gonna name names. But what I can tell you is they are all in the men's division. You better get it together, fellas, because the ladies are straight up running laps around you. Miss Venice Beach has taken back control of this match, but she better not get complacent, because that could all turn on a whim. Somebody's looking to get a slobberknocky going, but the Blue Bomber has other ideas. And here it comes. 1, 2, and 3. That was a triple powerbomb salvo. And just to add a little more injury, here's a chair. I wish I could tell you we gimmicked those chairs to make them less lethal, but that would be a lie. We've only got one employee in our props department, and she can be a little forgetful when it comes to things like that. Blue Bomber coming in with the counter. And we are going to see it again. 1, 2, and 3. That's a total of 6 powerbombs. One powerbomb is usually enough to make me cry, but Miss Venice Beach has taken 6, and I don't see a single tear. Blue Bomber taking flight and sticking that falling clothesline. And I can't help but noticing that there are no gurneys whatsoever in that ambulance. Whoever rides that thing is just going to have to lie on the bumpy steel floor. I've told Uncle Barry to drive over as many potholes as he can see, and because this is Linwood, there's a whole lot of them. Candice Deveraux running in and getting the underhook arm drag. Stiff haymaker sends Whitney Olivier down to the mat. Here we go again with the drive back into the exposed turnbuckle. Miss Venice Beach. Okay. Those were some nice mind games on the part of Candice Deveraux. I can dig that. There's the whip into the opposite corner, and here comes... Good God! Look at the height on that kick. If Ernie the cameraman's back from the toilet, we gotta run that one back and take another look. This was another testament to the efficacy of Miss Venice Beach's yoga. And hey, you try doing that in 6-inch platform heels. Candice Deveraux revving up for something big. And here it comes, folks. And pop goes the weasel. That was the beauty crown. Unfortunately, Ernie the cameraman had to run back to the toilet, so we don't get the replay. But up and over the ropes goes the Blue Bomber. Yeah, you really picked a great time to get violent diarrhea, Ernie the cameraman. Up into the fireman's carry goes Whitney Olivier, and Miss Venice Beach is looking to close this one out. That ambulance looks mighty uncomfortable, but can she close the doors? And there goes one, but can she get the other? Whitney Olivier struggling to keep the door open, but Miss Venice Beach seals the deal. And folks, thus ends our very first ambulance match. Candice Deveraux takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. And how nice of you to rush back so quickly, Ernie the cameraman. I hope you washed your hands. To be honest, I would have given this match to Whitney Olivier from the outset. She's bigger and meaner. But you've really got to hand it to Miss Venice Beach. Her ever-evolving set of technical skills managed to come through to take the win. So far, both of these wrestlers each have a victory over the other. But make no mistake, this rivalry is nowhere near done. I don't know what it's going to take to close the book on this rivalry, but one thing's for sure, there will be a lot more blood and broken bones along the way. And I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next. Congratulations to Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux, for taking the win tonight in our very first inaugural ambulance match. I don't know when or if we'll have another ambulance match, but if we do, it'd better be as good as this one. Well folks, I'm sorry to say it, but that is all the time we have for this week. As always, I want to thank you folks so much for tuning in once again. You could have watched anything on YouTube, but this show is what you went with, and I am forever grateful. You may be wondering why only 5 matches this week. Well, as noted philosopher Mr. Miyagi said, balance is a whole life lesson, and a lesson your old buddy Jon is still trying to figure out. If enough people complain, I'm happy to go back to 6 matches, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But all you folks, just be sure to come back next week for even more carnage and chaos. Until we meet again, this is your host, color commentator, and good buddy Jon, signing off and signing out.